are you going to make a predator diorama? For you, I will. Thank you, Christy Gray, for putting the fire in my ass and reminding me I have a video to edit. So yeah. So this, like every other project I do, started with a setback. I wasn't even gonna do this originally. It was gonna be a Smoky Boy from Dark Souls, but halfway through, I realized I wasn't good enough to warrant all that clay I would waste baking it. So I scrapped it for something better. Maybe? I don't know, I really wanted that Smoky Boy. Despite my initial shortcomings, I did have another good reason for moving past the basilisk. At the time of recording, this alpha predator figure had just come out, so it was a perfect opportunity. Now, it's been about a year, that's a whole year that I could have gotten this done, but because I'm a dog when it comes to editing, that wasn't the case. So, we're getting it now in 2021. God, it's been a year. So, after a little research, it's time to get started. Now, I have some experience making displays from scratch, but since we had all this leftover material, I decided to try something fancy. Let's start off by putting this thing on paper. Now, I love the idea of heavy foliage and fallen trees, so we're gonna do just that. A tilted log with lots of plant life around it, and it's all gonna be elevated by some dirt. Right now it's starting to look a lot like a pizza, but I promise you, the final product isn't much better. And now to put our concept to work, using some aluminum foil as a log space, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up into a big old booth shape. And as much as we'd like to light her up right now, we still have another layer to go. A layer of our poly clay, of course. Now, to get an even consistency, we're gonna be using our tortilla maker to flatten them out. And as you can probably tell, flattening clay is a laborious process, so while I'm straining my arms in the real world, I'll be straining your eyes through the virtual one. With our clay tortillas out of the press, we can wrap our booth one last time, making sure to evenly coat it, because, you know, it would defeat the whole purpose of the press if I didn't do that. At this point, our big old booth log is going to take the shape of a horse cock rather than a log, but that's okay because a little detailing is going to make it work. And by a little, I do mean a lot. This took a good while, but it was a pretty easy process, just a matter of following the terrarium piece as a guide. Now, the key to making our clay booth look like actual wood is sculpting in the grain. Getting those long linear carvings in really makes the difference. With our log fully sculpted and looking somewhat less like a horse cock, we can move on to cleaning this baby up. And because it's polymer clay, we're going to be using some rubbing alcohol to do just that. Now, what this does, it breaks down those smaller pieces of clay that got stuck to the log during the carving phase. So, after some foul rubbing, we're pretty much good to light our booth up. Now, I know I said that we were going to wrap it up one last time earlier, but this is the final wrap up. That's it, no more lies between us, I promise. While our booth is getting lit up, we're going to start working on some foliage. More specifically, the mushrooms. So, this process was just making the mushroom caps and stems out of some epoxy clay. That's it. But back to our booth, which is now stone hard. We're gonna go ahead and sand it down and make it look more like a log and less like a booth. And by booth, I do mean horsecock. Is this joke overplayed now? I think it is. But trust me when I say that this is gonna get worse before it gets better. So in the meantime, let's check back on our foliage, which I finished off the mushrooms by making their stems and also decided on the next piece of plant life. It's pretty much that bulbous orange thing you see in every depiction of an alien world. Spielberg, you ain't no different. Get out of here. As for painting the mushrooms, I'm a lazy dog, so I settled for the brain dead method of dipping them in acrylic ink. Laziness never prevails.
That's not good.
Actually, yes, it does. Just gotta be smart about it. Oh, fuck, I just dropped everything. See, I'm stupid, don't be me. Back to our clog, a portmanteau of cock and log for my fellow scholars out there. You remember how I said it gets worse before it gets better? Well, you should, because I mentioned it a minute ago. But yeah, it definitely does get worse. I'm not good at painting. If you watch more than 2 of my videos, you'll realize that. I say that in every video. I hate it. I hate painting. I thought going a darker color with a little green would help, but no, it doesn't. So we'll check back in a little bit, because for now, our foliage needs some paint too. And I kept going with the brain dead method of dipping things because it's easy and efficient and it works. I finished off the foliage with some terrarium plants that I dipped, and with that, it was time to face our fears once again. Painting the clog, and because it's my fear more than yours, I went at it alone, so I didn't record any of it. That's okay. So while we let our new clog dry, let's move on to the base. And it's pretty much the same process as the log: getting your clay, getting your foil, making your base, and covering it in clay. Now that we do have our finished log though, we are able to prop it up and place everything where it should be, get a good sense of the layout. With the base elevated and covered with an as even layer of clay as I possibly could, it's time to continue the layout. And yeah, I pretty much dived right into it. I did reference the box a few times just to get a general idea of their depiction of an alien homeworld. But I also kind of just mainly did my own thing, following the rules of 3 quite a lot. 1's too little, 4's too much, 3 is the perfect number in most occasions. And it's true. But getting off my soapbox, while the clay was drying, I made sure to take advantage and try to shove it rocks into where the dirt's gonna be. Try to get it as realistic as possible. Right now it looks like cookies and cream, but trust me, it really did make the difference in the end. After carefully laying down our plants, we have to unceremoniously take them right out because it's time to paint. And by paint, I mean sanding, because the clay is way too smooth for any adhesion. So after a good sanding, we can actually start applying our paint. And look, it actually sticks on. Not well, but it stays. From the grass, we can move on to the dirt, which is just going to be a black base color with a brown wash on top. Now, to make the sand really pop, we're going to go ahead and add some miniature grass using some Mod Podge. Now, here's the first mistake. Don't use Mod Podge. Use spray adhesive. In retrospect, I don't know why. No, I do know why I used it, because I had it in hand and I was too lazy to go buy anything else. But yeah, spray adhesive is definitely the way to go. So if you're going to be doing something similar, shell out a couple bucks. It'll be worth it in the end. Having to clean up dry herb at the end is never fun, unless you got to smoke it. But I wouldn't recommend it. After realizing the Mod Podge just wasn't going to cut it, I decided to try a liquid adhesive on the log, which was also going to get the same sprinkler treatment as the grass, except it was going to be moss. Now, the only problem here is that I fuck up everything I do, so I had to fix that, as well as try the new adhesive on the log, which didn't work at all. I'm pretty sure the final product has like 2 sprinkles of moss that are visible, if any. So yeah, waste of time, but that's life. We don't let our problems define us here at ARF Productions, so we move on stronger and better than ever. God, it's cringe. But with our terrain fully set up, we can reapply our foliage and move on to the base, which just needs a nice black wash. And not to break the illusion or anything, but this was filmed such a long time ago that I've since learned how to properly stain wood. This one came out just fine, but the wood staining makes it look a lot more natural. And to really emphasize that naturalistic look I was going for, I went back with different shades of brown, dabbing all over to really make that dirt pop. Last thing to do is touch up our foliage with some little extra details, cause who doesn't like being extra? Is that relevant? Is being extra relevant? I don't think it is. Oh man, I'm out of it. Anyways, we're gonna top off our display with some multicolor moss. You can find this stuff at most pet stores, and it just works great for miniature fauna and any sorts of stuff like that. And with everything fully truly set, we're ready to spray this thing down with some matte varnish. Keep everything in place and looking fresh. Kinda. And we're done. Cue the edit. So yeah, that was my Predator-inspired Alien Homeworld diorama. I think it's quite cute. I really like it. A few things I would change would be not messing up the grass with the fucking glue or making the log look like a horse cock. Those would probably be a good thing to start off with. Let me know what you guys think though. I'm halfway through editing this, so we're almost there. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who keeps commenting and subscribing and being nice, because it really does help, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. So yeah, with that, I'll catch you on the next one. Oh.